Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report, the first of 2016, January 17th, 2016. I'm your host, Alexander Cloffey. Once again, I am joined by Donald Terrio.
Pardon my profanity for a moment, but fuck cancer.
Always.
Oh yeah.
It is certainly a dragon, is it not?
Mm.
And we are also joined by one Zachary Miller.
Hello, Happy New Year, and I'd just like to say, just get this out of the way right now. The sickness is real.
Okay, so not to bring things on an immediate down note, but did something happen to someone other than Celine Dion's brother?
Alan Rickman and
True.
David Bowie.
right, Bowie, and didn't the Radiohead guy die?
Well, did that just happen too?
I'm not
sure what the timing on that was.
Man.
My wife said he died, the main guy.
Oh wow. Okay.
And one of my old bosses at another website just found out on Friday that he's got cancer too, of some sort.
That is too bad. Well,
damn our mammalian physiologies.
Mm.
We should learn from the naked mole rat, which is immune to cancer.
Max Storm, we're rooting for you.
Oh yeah. Let's hope that everything works out okay for everyone who's still with us. Okay. Talking about news, Nintendo news specifically. This week, the top story. Oh, by the way, Zachary Miller. I did introduce you, of course.
I think you did. Yeah.
I think I did. Even people know Zach. Did you get the Shovel Knight one yet?
Yes.
That's the first one I showed. God, I love this thing.
See, because I'm looking at
Twitter pictures of him in different situations. It's hilarious.
Isn't it like one of the nicest yet?
Oh, the production quality on this is so much better than any other amiibo, except maybe these. These are really, really good too.
Those are really good, and the Yoshi ones are really good.
Yeah,
the Yoshi ones look a little weird, but they're great build quality.
Yeah, they are. But yeah, the Shovel Knight is like virtually flawless. There's a little tiny bit of paint that's yellow paint on his helmet from his horn, but who cares? Like the build quality itself is flawless. Get it if you don't have it, and I've heard it's hard to find, which blows. I might have gotten the last one in the city.
Yeah, I got lucky on the first day it came out, and Donald, you'll get yours eventually, I'm sure.
Amazon is saying Wednesday, so we'll see.
Perfect. Okay, cool. The top story this week is a doubleheader of Pokemon news. First off, Pokémon Tournament coming a little earlier than we thought it would, March 18th. In addition to that, Chandelure, Garchomp, Braixen, and regular Mewtwo, in addition to the previously confirmed Shadow Mewtwo, those are all going to be playable in the Wii U version of this game. Chandelure is a crazy one because it might have, like, its build is probably the opposite that you want for this game, and it is a ghost type, which makes it physically immune to fighting characters.
And it's got flash fire, so it's immune to all the fire moves that are going to get thrown around in this game.
Oh. It's also a chandelier.
Have a trailer for this one yet, or not for me too? Korokoro.
I think they revealed 3 of them in Korokoro, and I think the Chandelure was just on the website. But the trailers for them are going to keep coming out through the month. Like, we're not going to get Chandelures until January 31st.
Did they, Donald? Did they confirm whether there was going to be an actual story mode yet, or do we still just have the tease from that Nintendo Direct way back when?
There's still the tease. There's something on the Pokémon website in Japan, I think, called My Town, which might be related to the story mode, but as of this point, I don't believe they've confirmed anything officially. There's bound to be a single-player mode of some description, but to this point, they haven't really clarified what that is.
Right, because they're charging $59.99 in the U.S. and $1,300 in Canada.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that I can ameliorate some of the cost on that.
Yeah, it's that's the hope. You are going to be buying it day one, assuming you buy it, correct?
I'm hoping it may not come to that, but if it does, yes, I will buy it day one. I've already reserved the controller, among other things.
Okay.
Yeah, are they selling a bundle with a stick?
I don't think so. I think there's just the controller on its own, but there's also the Wii U bundle with Pokémon Tournament, but that doesn't come with the controller either,
No, I
right?
already have a Wii U.
Yeah,
Pokémon bundle. Go ahead.
if there's anything announced to that effect, we probably won't hear about that until the next Direct, whenever that is.
Ooh, maybe you can use the Tatsunoko fight stick, because I have that.
Yeah, that does not come with the
That would be
controller.
so awesome!
It does not come with the controller, the Wii U bundle.
I think as long as it supports the classic controller, the original one, it should work with the Tatsunoko stick, but we'll have to find out.
Okay.
That's a great stick, by the way.
Kind of surprising it's coming out this early, like March 18th. That's barely spring.
Yeah, it's still a simultaneous worldwide release because that's the date for pretty much everywhere except Australia, which is the 19th because of time zones. But
right.
But Pokemon Company loves their simultaneous worldwide releases, and this sort of gets it out of the way. The question becomes then, what the hell comes out at the end of May, which is the normal slot they've had for the Wii U the last few years.
The other question, and this is more specific to the Pokemon Company, is hey, they also confirmed their plans for the Pokemon 20th anniversary. We got the new 3DS bundle with red and blue faceplates and both games pre-installed coming out on February 27th.
I might get that.
I'm like, right before the show, I thought to myself, hey, that's not a horrible thing for me to buy either.
I know.
Yeah, that's coming out February 27th, and then the games themselves are going to be $9.99 on the eShop, which is exactly what everyone thought they were going to be, especially since they have all their bonuses and they're the big-ass RPGs. Nintendo can get away with this. But either way, we know what they're doing through March 18th, and then Pokemon Go is going to be sometime later in the year. Almost clearing the way for a bigger to come out later in the year, especially since Koro teased that there will be worldwide news, like news that's important on a worldwide scale, related to the next movie, I think, but just in general for Pokemon, being revealed in next month's issue of Koro magazine, which is going to be like February 12th, I think. It's going to be in that general area.
Yeah, it'll probably leak around the 10th or 11th and wide release middle of the month. But they've also got something to announce on just before that because they're going to have a 1-minute Super Bowl ad this year.
Yes, it's celebrating the Pokemon anniversary because when is the Super Bowl actually happening again?
February 7th, the first Sunday in February.
Okay, so yeah, that's asking the Canadian. But no, it's basically, they're going to be doing that pretty much a month ahead of all these games coming out. Pokemon's setting up for a really big year. I'm just trying to figure out what they think a big year is. Because, as it turns out, the fans and the companies do sometimes have disagreements on what a big year is. For them, a big year is, hey, huge Pokemon game coming to mobile, these classic Pokemon games coming to handheld, this Pokemon fighting game, which is pretty much their stand-in for Stadium this generation. And then they have all these shows coming out, like these remasters of the movies, and then there's going to be a new movie this year, and then they're like, oh man, as the Pokemon Company, this is one of the biggest years for Pokemon ever. But if they don't have a new Pokemon game, as a fan, it almost feels like it's going to be for naught.
Now, hold on a second. Didn't I hear somewhere, and I might be misremembering, but aren't they thinking about another Pokemon Snap?
They've been thinking about that for a very long time.
Okay.
But as you may know, the Pokemon Company and the Pokemon development teams, like many and almost all video game development teams, like to start working on ideas or start thinking about ideas that may never come to fruition years later. Don't forget that Pokemon Pikachu detective game, still no word on that actually coming to
Forgot
release.
about
And I didn't. Yeah.
It's just they haven't. 2015 was the first year I think since 2001 or 2 that they haven't had a Pokemon release somewhere. So we know they're probably overdue at this point for a game, and they tend to take a long time before announcing the game sometimes to their detriment. But I don't think we're getting out of this year without a new mainline Pokemon RPG. That's pretty obvious.
Now, here's something insane. Donald, I remember you're the one who thought that it's not the NX console releasing this year, but Nintendo's next portable system, which you argue is NX also, but Nintendo's next portable system you think could very well be this year. Well, what if they took an extra year to develop their next Pokemon, Gen 7, put it on the NX Portable or whatever it ends up being, and that ends up being the big fall Pokemon huge release on the 20th anniversary of this storied franchise.
But wouldn't that kind of be a slap in the face to all the people who buy the new 3DS Pokemon edition and then release a couple months later a new handheld that you need to play the new Pokemon game? That seems like a dick move.
Yeah.
Well,
go
ahead.
We've learned over the years that the Pokemon Company as a whole doesn't really give a damn what Nintendo's doing. They'll put their games out wherever, whenever. I mean, they started Gen 5 in North America the same month the 3DS came out. So
yeah,
if anything, they may look at it as, you know what, this handheld's coming out this year, but if we're probably not going to be able to have this game talk to the old games without porting bank over. So let's get a last 3DS game out this year, and then maybe we have something like an like a start of Gen 7 next year.
Right. I do think whatever Generation 7 ends up being, it will be on Nintendo's next.
Oh yeah, that's
launching a new game, DS, and end up putting Black and White out. I don't think that's in the cards. Or they could do cross-gen. It wouldn't necessarily be out of the cards for there to be a 3DS and NX portable version of Pokemon XYZ or XZYZ, etc., when that comes out.
Sure.
It's also, just as I was saying, a little slap in the face that they're charging $199.99 for this Pokemon new 3DS bundle. Comes with the red and blue cover blades, comes with red and blue, doesn't come with yellow version.
Yellow's the one I want, too. Yellow's the good one.
Please understand, you're ponying up $10.
Yeah.
They include the two games that are almost exactly the same.
And how do those games? How are you supposed to get Pokemon from one game to the other? Then?
I know, that's what I was just going to say.
Well,
you
I actually have
transfer
an
them to your
answer.
bank, and then you
Yes.
transfer them to blue or red.
That's exactly what I think they're going to
It
do.
will have bank compatibility somehow.
Did they confirm that, or was that still a rumor?
I think it's been confirmed.
Because there was some rumor, if I remember correctly, or confirmation, that Pokemon Bank was going to have compatibility, and also you would be able to get a Mew in your Gen
Yes,
1 game
That's
as
correct.
a result.
I heard that too.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that was for Japan's bundles. I think if you buy the system bundle, you somehow get a code that'll work with the Gen 1 remakes to get Mew.
Okay. Excellent.
Although as for me, I'll just do the glitch because this is still going to work apparently.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you
nice.
you just gotta make sure not to battle that like one trainer that's like after Fuchsia, and then you'll be a-okay.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to new releases. We have new releases this week. Metroid Zero Mission comes out for $7.99 on
Came
the
out.
Wii U Virtual Console. Came out on this past Thursday. That is one of the
got it.
finest
It's
Metroid
great.
games. Yes, and also, if you beat the game, you can also unlock a version of the original Metroid game. Save $5 right there.
Is that still there? Because it used to have to connect Zero Mission to Fusion to unlock that.
Was that how it worked? Am I
Yeah.
just completely wrong? Because I somehow ended up with that game on my Game Boy copy. So maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe there's no way to do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had to back in the day. Fusion could connect to Metroid Prime, and you'd get the Fusion suit in Prime. And then if you connected Zero Mission to Fusion, you unlock the original Metroid in. Oh, maybe you unlock the original Metroid in Fusion, and in Zero Mission you unlock it by beating the. I don't remember.
I was right, Zachary. I was right.
Good.
These, at least in the original version of this game, assuming it's still there, and why wouldn't it be? You can unlock the original Metroid by beating the game once.
Sweet. It's a terrible game, but you save $5.
It's a game that came out 20, 30 years ago and was doing something very ambitious.
True.
Most old ambitious games don't age well, as it turns out. Almost all of them, I might add.
Yeah.
Look at February 27th's release of Pokemon Red and Blue.
Aw. The sprites in that game are
It's
so terrible to look at now. They're hard to look at.
Could be worse. You could have the red and green sprites.
no, it's the red and green Mew sprite is the most disgusting thing in Japan, and I love
Yes, it's so bizarre.
it. But no, I love Red and Blue. Even still, I think it's despite its age, in the same way Mario 64 is probably one of the best 3D platformers ever, in my opinion. Despite knowing it's aged horribly, I still think Pokemon Red Blue is probably one of the best JRPGs of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, acknowledge it's really tough to play in some respects nowadays.
Just teach somebody psychic and blow through the game.
And the game has more glitches than I can count last night. And I'm assuming they're keeping
That's
all
a
of them
feature.
Wait, focus energy lowering your critical rate is a feature now?
Oh man, that was there's this infographic that I think came from 4chan originally, but it's like look up the problems with Gen 1. And there's look up problems with Gen 1. I use the numeral 1. Everyone watching this eventually just look up problems with Gen 1. There's a whole list of all of the stuff they screwed up in the original Pokemon games, and it's actually a super fascinating list.
This is before patches, people.
Yeah, I think I know the guy who actually discovered the glitch where recover or rest will not restore a multiple of 256 hit points in the middle of a Pokemon Mall Tour battle.
That would suck.
Yeah, you're trying to recover from 11 health, and you find out at the worst possible time that Pokemon Red and Blue were complete cluster Fs.
Yes. Okay, so here are a few choice ones. I'm only going to read 3 before we move on. Due to a glitch, focus energy cuts your critical hit rate by 75%, it like it's supposed to. And Leech Seed and Toxic went off the same damage calculator when they were stacked, making Leech Seed drain double the damage Toxic dealt, and Toxic deal double the damage Leech Seed drained every time you reach the end of a turn, meaning you're basically just destroying an opponent's HP by using those 2 moves.
Nice.
Ghosts are immune to Struggle because the latter is a normal type instead of typeless, and if you stat upped too high, basically by using Swords Dance or all these other moves or these other stat boosting moves, your stats would roll over from being too high into hilariously low numbers. So
basically,
you would boost your stats too much that they would practically drop down to 0.
And I think that last one actually stuck around for Gold and Silver too, because they had there was one moveset from my competitive days where you specifically lowered a Marowak's attack to prevent its attack from rolling over, and then look, that turns it into Hidden Power Bug, which it needs. Yeah, those.
Okay. A couple more. Blizzard has 90% accuracy. Only Pokemon fans would probably, and some people would. And then, okay, let me see if there's anything else. Oh, multi-hit moves use the same number for damage. If one hit criticals, they all will. So basically,
Nice.
if you double slap and it hits, double slap wouldn't back then, but if you use Fury Swipes and it hits 5 turns and one does a critical hit, it's 5 critical hits in a row. So basically, you're hitting them 10 times.
One thing I will tell our younger listeners, in Gen 1, special attack and attack there's no difference.
Well,
There's just a special stat,
Right.
which they fixed. That was a Gen 2 fix, IIRC.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on, because I'm sure this is boring 80% of the people watching this right now. You can look up the infographic for yourself. There was also a winter sale for Wii U and 3DS on the eShop. I actually bought something. On Wii U,
I did too. I don't remember.
some of the stuff, Sin and Punishment is $8.39 on N64. Punch-Out is $13.99, down from $20. Injustice on Wii U is $6.99. That's about what that game's worth.
Yes.
Mega Man Battle Network's down a couple bucks.
Not
F-Zero
worth it.
Maximum Velocity's down a couple bucks.
Not worth it.
Gaiden's down a couple bucks.
Not
Here's
worth
some
it.
stuff that is worth it. One Piece Unlimited World Red on 3DS is $13.99, down from $20. If you're into that, that's probably a pretty good deal.
What kind of a game is that, Alex? I can't figure out what
That's
it
an
is.
action RPG, and it's
Oh,
supposed to
okay.
be a decent one.
Okay.
Gunman Clive 2 is the one I bought. That was $1.99, down from $2.99.
Excellent game.
And some of the big ones: Star Fox 64 3D, $27.99, down from $39.99, and
Way too
LBX
expensive.
Little Battler Experience, $27.99, down from $39.99.
Yeah, I think my one buy from the sale, because I had the rest of them, was Mega Man Extreme for the Game Boy Color.
Yes, good game. I got Sin and Punishment because I'd never played it.
It's a very good game. It is. That will hold you over until the new Star Fox game comes out.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I really like Sin and Punishment too. That's a great game.
Speaking of games that I wish were on sale for $10 but aren't this week, Donald, you're going to be so upset with me, but I finished watching the Attack on Titan anime, and I've read through chapter 60 in the manga, so I'm pretty far ahead. If that 3DS game hits $10, I'm probably going to buy it, just so I can see for myself.
Please don't.
Is it really not worth $10? Because it seems like it's okay for 3 or 4 hours.
If you're going in with the expectation that they should be paying you $20 for this game, you might get a couple of hours of enjoyment out of it if you don't fling your system across the room because the camera's that bad.
I watched a YouTube reviewer who basically called it one of the worst cameras he's ever seen in a video game.
Yeah, as I think I said on the site, I'm surprised Don didn't review this game.
That said, one thing I can recommend, the Attack on Titan anime is actually really great. I didn't like it the first time I tried it, but the second time I tried it, it completely hooked me. So if you want something that's like kind of brutal but still like not that gruesome, Attack on Titan might be for you. Okay, cool. That's our new releases this week. By the way, Paper Mario or Mario & Luigi Paper Jam comes out next week. Look forward to that.
I look forward to seeing it be bad.
It's going to be fine,
Nope.
but that's all it's going to be. Twilight Princess Amiibo Unlock Rumor. There was a rumor, there were some listings, some store listings that tend to suggest a couple details for Twilight Princess HD. One, the suggestion is that nice Wolf Link amiibo is going to unlock a new dungeon in Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD, and also that using the other Zelda series amiibo will refill your hearts and arrows.
Probably once a day.
Probably once a day per amiibo, I would imagine. I think we went over this before, but very quick. Donald, are you excited for this?
I'm intrigued by the idea of what they could add to another dungeon in Twilight Princess. I don't think that game needed another dungeon, but if it's better than the Snow Peak Temple, then we're probably going to get somewhere with this. I thought about doing an article on the site just outlining the previous times that you've had to unlock stuff in Zelda games with hardware. The problem is, I think Twilight Princess, if this goes through, would be the cheapest hardware you've ever had to buy short of the GBA link cable.
Oh.
Okay. Fair enough. And you, Zach?
I've never liked Twilight Princess, so I'm gonna see what they fix about it. I like that amiibo. I'm probably gonna get that amiibo because but I have so many problems with Twilight Princess. I don't know if I want to replay it. On the other hand, it's been like 10 years. Maybe I should replay it.
And to this game's also benefit, the last HD Legend of Zelda remake that came out, the Wind Waker HD, was a really excellent remake that was only made in like 5 or 6 months.
Already so good.
It was also my first time properly playing the Wind Waker.
Really?
So yeah, I had a great 30 hours with that. That was probably one of my games of that year. Excellent.
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
They did a really good job with that game. It was so accurate, I actually got seasick playing it.
Got him. Okay, moving on to the Moving on to the next one. NPDs, they weren't that bad. Nintendo entered the year with some decent holds in the December NPDs. Year over year, on the hardware front, 464,000 Wii U's and 550,000 members of the 3DS family were sold over Christmas. 3DS is down 30% year over year. Wii U fell about 100K, with a less attractive November-December lineup compared to 2014, having Smash Bros. And Captain Toad. Software charts, no Nintendo software made top 10 combined. 2 games slated to reach the Wii U in the future in a physical form. Minecraft and Minecraft Story Mode 8 and 9.
God.
Respectively. That both Mario Maker and Splatoon have sold over 1 million copies in the US since launch. Mario Maker is the 3rd fastest game to clear the mark after Smash Bros. And Mario Kart 8. Xenoblade Chronicles X sold over 200,000 in its opening month. Nearly doubling the game's Japanese sales to date. Now, on NeoGAF, there was a not even leaked, it's because apparently these numbers exist for someone, but someone on NeoGAF who, these are apparently numbers people trust, they supposedly have some life-to-date stuff for Nintendo releases. So, Ace Combat sold 9,000 copies apparently in the U.S.
And you know what? The number I didn't put in that story because, well, that game's not relevant. Devil's Third, 3,500.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's Tony Hawk shred numbers.
Except the sad thing is, I think that was a sellout. I think that's about all they printed.
Oh my god.
Okay. Zelda Majora's Mask 3D, 942,000. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, 458,000. I'm very happy about that. Steam, 50,000. Rest in peace. Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, 3 times that, despite being a new 3DS exclusive, 147,000.
Nobody has a new 3DS.
Yes. Let me see. Little Battlers Extreme, 33K. Etrian Odyssey 2 Untold, Zach's Game of the Year, 19,000.
Yeah.
Happy Home Designer, 270,000.
How did that happen?
That is another game I think I'm also going to buy when it hits bargain-ass prices. Yeah, Donald.
That game just fell off a cliff compared to other Animal Crossing games, but at least it started somewhere, unlike the other Animal Crossing game.
Yeah, I wish.
Yes. Okay.
If you've been to any retail store lately, you know that Animal Crossing amiibos they're stacking up on the floor in front of the amiibo section, and nobody's buying them.
There is one of the Animal Crossing amiibo that Best Buy Canada, they are literally giving you if you buy another amiibo just so they can get rid of it.
Yeah. The Lotties, the Lottie selection at like Targets and Best Buys are so depressing it's almost pathetic.
Yeah, that's the one they're trying to dump.
Yeah, I love the Tom Nook one, and I'm like pretty close to buying a KK Slider standalone because that's only like $15 on Amazon to import with Prime. So we'll try. Dragon Ball Z, Extreme Budoten sold 48,000, which is only 2,000 less than Codename Steam, and 5 times Ace Combat 3DS. Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon sold 352K. Shovel Knight sold 27K. That's SK with Shovel Knight, right?
Right. And
okay.
And Mystery Dungeon, that is, I don't know if it's just around here, but that game they didn't print very much of that for a Pokemon game because it's getting hard to find here.
Yeah. They probably made money on it though, regardless. Just because, like, those games probably aren't that ridiculously expensive to make. The production values for a 3DS game are pretty good, especially in this one compared to the last one. But still, it's not that special. Like they obviously didn't spend as much on this one as they would have spent on an actual Pokemon game. So, okay, Kirby got 193,000. I'm specifically talking about the Wii U Kirby. Mario Party 10, 633K. Splatoon at 849K, Super Mario Maker 944K. Yoshi actually did better than I thought it would, 457,000. What's MTUS?
Mario Tennis Ultra Smash.
67K.
Oh, yeah.
And that's about 66,000 more than it deserved.
Yeah.
One more 1,000 than the sales of Chibi Robo and Ace Combat on 3DS, which
Poor
combined
Chibi
sold
Robo.
66,000. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, my favorite, 63,000 copies,
And
which is disgusting.
And about 3/4 of that were probably at $30.
Uh-huh.
Is it still like commonly $30? I'm gonna look up the Amazon price right now.
That
Amazon.
going by Amazon, but I just know that the local Walmart has them sitting abandoned in a corner of the accessories department.
Oh,
Man, I hope I hope this game gets the DJ Hero treatment, and you can just pick it up for like $10 in a year.
probably.
Because I $10 want this game, but I don't want it for a penny more than $10.
You $10 want Isabelle and Digby.
Yes, I want $5 for each amiibo, and I don't even like it. And then I want the game for free.
Should have been free to begin with.
Yeah, kinda. Okay. 3,000, 60K for both SKUs of Shovel Knight combined.
Given that's a higher priced version of a game that came out a year and a half ago, that's actually pretty good.
$33.95, by the way, for Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival bundle, new in box, sold from Amazon exclusively to Prime members.
Dive!
I almost bought Shovel Knight physically at Best Buy the other day. I'd never seen it before, but they had it for 3DS, and it's a nice box, but I have it digitally already.
I needed something to fall asleep to the other day, so I watched the Giant Bomb Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival quick look, and I made it about 23 minutes.
That sounds about right. Although we should probably mention just briefly here that Amazon in the States is now trying to counter the Best Buy Gamers Club Unlocked with their own 20% off if you're a Prime member.
Yes.
Also covers Amiibo, and there's still some places that Amazon doesn't charge sales tax in. So,
Like Alaska.
Yes, on the other hand, if you have Best Buy Gamer Club Unlocked and you buy like PS4 or Xbox One games, you still get that $10 back. So Best Buy still has a little something over the alternative.
And that Prime discount must work retroactively, because just the other day, my wife got an email that said, "Oh, here's, how I think it was like $10 back. Here's $10 in credit for pre-reserving or pre-ordering Senran Kagura on Vita like a month ago."
Yep, they went through existing Prime member pre-orders and they did apply the discount.
That's awesome.
Excellent. Two more stories. Let's run through these very quickly. Splatoon's the Splatoon update, which just came out.
It came out Friday night.
Okay. Featured the last free weapon update for the game. 74th and last free weapon update is the custom Hydra Splatling, which has some long-range abilities: Sprinkler Sub-Weapon, Bubbler Special.
Did you say 74th weapon?
Yes.
74th free weapon. This is the kind of thing Donald would know.
How do you even make a choice when you're choosing your weapon if you have 74 choices?
Plus the stuff released in the game.
Yeah, like the amiibo stuff. Although I just went for, okay, which one has the ink strike? Okay, that narrows it down since I only played it during Splatfest. And I kind of like the sprinkler idea. Okay, let's go with the NZAP.
I still use the default weapon, which is that's the something Junior, Splattershot Junior. That's still like my favorite weapon in the game, like by far, and I actually do really well with it still. Though of course the that gold paint roller is still kind of broken.
I was happy to see that dinosaurs beat time travel or whatever. Whatever they're going to have in the future.
Yeah, the
ruined environment.
I'm kind of disappointed that Marie wasn't as salty as she was when Team Naughty beat Team Nice last time. And Callie is now 8-2 in North American Splatfest, so we know how this is going to go.
Okay. But this suggests to us that Splatoon is probably going the way of paid DLC soon, especially with this word of the Octoling stuff that's already in the game,
Oh
and
yeah.
the word of an Octoling amiibo. There's probably going to be some paid DLC for Splatoon this year, right?
How much longer do you think they're going to support the game, given the NX's
Through the end
rumored?
of this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because we have one more free map coming because they confirmed the maps over Christmas and then drop the pit right away. Uh, we may get DLC or they could run out another line of Splatoon amiibo between
Mm-hmm.
Callie, Marie, Judd, and the Octoling. That's probably enough for another three challenges because I mean they've brought enough of those weapons into the game.
Yeah.
Yep. I think they're going to support this through the end of the year. I think the game has that much left in it. I think the game at least has through the end of summer. This game can at least get one really good summer out of it before the game tapers off. And even after that, this is the kind of game that has a dedicated enough core community that it's going to be around for a few years at least.
Sure.
I
Until the next this game will be active until the next great Splatoon game comes out.
Because I kind of figured they'd probably ring it down at the 1 year mark and then focus everything on getting a Splatoon game out for the next handheld.
Handheld.
Yeah, I
Dude,
heard an RFN prediction on that too.
Yeah, because I mean it's done 1 million in Japan, which is amazing for a shooter. It's selling 1 million in Japan before it sold 1 million here, but if they put that game on a handheld in Japan, it's going to go absolutely nuclear.
Hmm.
All right.
They would need a more powerful handheld.
Yeah, well, that's what they're working on theoretically.
Let's knock this last story out. Bayonetta 2 is coming out February 19th again. Same day as Fire Emblem Fates, $30 in the US. No Bayonetta 1 included this time. Probably a way to remarket the game, especially since Bayonetta's coming to Smash. We're going to have the 2 Smash Bros. Characters who have not been released yet. Those are probably also going to come out around the 19th of February. Is there anything else to say about this?
Bayonetta 2 is awesome. You should all play it.
Yeah, it was my game of 2014, and I kind of hope they actually drop the price of the Bayonetta 2 on the eShop at the same time.
Yeah.
Because
They
then
should. Yeah.
Because then you can get Bayonetta 1 for $10. Okay, you need because I wonder if that bundle deal would still apply. Now, you would need a stanking hard drive to support both of those games because they are massive.
Yeah, they are.
But getting Bayonetta 1 and 2 for effectively $40, that is a lot of value for the money.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I can't wait for the Bayonetta amiibo.
Yeah.
And she is going to be my new main in Smash Brothers. Faux show.
And I'll wreck you with a chainsaw sword.
Yes.
And there you have it. There you have it. Yes, there you have it. That is our this week's first Nintendo News Report of 2016. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Alex Kulafi with Donald Terrio and Zach Miller. Zach Miller can be found on Twitter at ZMiller1902. Donald Terrio can be found on Twitter at DonaldMick. That is DonaldMick. ZMiller1902, ZMILLER1902. I am Kulafia, that is CULAFIA, Kulafia, and that'll do it. See you next week. Hopefully another Nintendo News Report. Hopefully we're back in the Nintendo News Report season. We'll see. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.